In this video I would like to show you how I made all the smaller details of this Boulder Diorama, like the figures, the crash pads, the informative sign and the wooden fence. I started with the crash pads. First I checked online for some real crash pads, the sizes, and I recalculated how big they need to be with the scale of 1:87. I had some leftovers of some white 3mm plastic plates, which were perfect for this purpose. This material is quite lightweight and good to be cut with the knives, but please make sure not to hurt yourself. The disadvantage of the plastic plates were that the thickness was not the desired one, so I needed to sand them down to have the value I was looking for. The sharp edges were easily removed. I also needed some crash pads in the folded condition, so I was cutting them in half and folded them carefully. Crash pads have some handles on the sides to be carried, so I took some very small wire which I fixed with a 2-component adhesive. Then they were ready to be painted. I used the basic acrylic color and added the same part water to make it easier to be painted, and I did not want to make them fully black. I thought the structure might be better visible when they are not fully dark. The top of each crash pad I did not paint. If you want to print the decals for the crash pads in original size, there's some trick using Microsoft Office. In PowerPoint you can enter the real value, like 12mm for a square, but then do not print it in PowerPoint, but copy that geometry into a separate Word file. Surprisingly, this makes sure that the original scale is not changed because of any frames. Then you need to print this on a water slide paper and add some clear varnish afterwards. Make sure to use 3 to 4 layers of varnish to make the decals strong enough. Then drop it carefully into warm water for some seconds and gently remove it. I needed some tries. The first try, my varnish was too thin and it was impossible to remove the decal without damaging it. The best way to get the decal off the paper is to hold it in place and gently slide it directly onto the crash pad. But on the sides I had some black color left which was shining through the decal. So I ended up removing the decal again and sanding away the black color from the upper side. Finally, I got the hang of it and could complete all the other crash pads. On the original scenery, there is a nice informative sign, which is explaining some history of the elephant stone, which I wanted to include. So I used the picture from Google Maps and manipulated a bit in PowerPoint before I also printed this out on the water slide paper. For the posts you can use simple matchsticks, which are fixed to have an easier handling afterwards. With two-component adhesive, I added a small white thick paper for the plates. Then I mixed some light brown color with quite much water to have a very soft and light wash for the posts and the lower part of the plate. For the fence I used again some matchsticks, which I was cutting into pieces for about 10 mm long. I did not care about the correct length, as the posts of the real fence are also not perfectly in length. To be able to glue them together, I decided to first fix all of them on a sellotape. Then I mixed some two-component adhesive and added a thin wire step by step onto the posts. I first tried to glue one long wire for the entire length of the fence, but it turned out to be much easier if you add small separate segments, as you need to hold it in position as the glue dries, and a long segment is not perfectly straight and therefore not in touch with every post. Then I added another sellotape to flip everything over. Remove the other tape and then I could start to paint the posts. I chose a normal black acrylic color with about 5 parts water to have a very light wash of color. This way you still see the structure of the wood. For the figures, I bought a set 16140 from NOCH with 18 figures in HO scale. They all look like persons in the mountains, but were looking really old school for my scene. I did not want to use all of them, but needed to modify some of them to fit better to the model. There were 2 backpacks, which I could use right away without any changes. Here, for example, was a climber who had some gear on the back. I wanted to remove the gear to let him boulder on the rocks. This woman has a nice posture, which I do not want to change, but maybe I add some new color. This is a nice person who could spot another boulderer, but probably without the backpack and not with those hiking socks. So I probably will change the color here as well. This person is super nice for carrying a crash pad, so I can remove here the backpack and the hiking stick and add the crash pad on the back. For this person, probably the same. Take care not to hurt yourself, as the materials of the figures are quite different. This person's here, for example, was super soft, and it was really easy to remove the climbing gear and the axe from its back. The backpack I was removing here I wanted to keep and add to the front, as this is really typical in Boulder areas. You are carrying some jackets, food and shoes for the whole day, but you also need to carry the crash pad, so you wear your normal backpack in front and the crash pad on the back. Using black acrylic color, I painted the backpack on the edges I was cutting earlier. After I removed on this person the hiking stick, I found that the position on the arm is quite strange. So I was cutting this away and gluing back onto his shoulder in a slightly better position. This nice spotter was getting the black shorts. And this person was ready to get the backpack glued to his belly. This person already had a small change with the clothes and was also ready to get its backpack glued on. The crash pads were easily fixed with 2-component adhesive again. Then I was ready to apply them on the real scenery. I did use again the 2-component adhesive. First, the child was attached to the open sand area. Be patient and wait until the glue is completely dry. If not, probably you need to repeat everything and might damage the sand area again. This part is super fun as it is easy and makes a huge difference to the model, adding all the details and the persons. Placing the crash pads is really straightforward, and I did already have an idea where I wanted to let the figures being on the walls. If you did not watch the video where I was building the main model, please check out my channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Cheers!